lot of you have a lot of questions about the right arm and the right hand coming into impact, and what really this whole flip business is all about. If we look at a really bad case and a really extreme case, here we have a over-the-top swinger, really cupped wrist position here, which typically corresponds to a very open club face. And then coming through impact, the right wrist flexes forward and the right forearm does not rotate. So it pretty much stays in the same place and lets the right wrist just flip under, which again adds loft, and with an out to in swing and a path that's really going from impact, it's working across the ball to the left with the open club face, and he's adding a lot of side spin as well as adding loft. So this is what a horrible golfer does. And let's take a look at what the right wrist should be doing. Alright, here's what the right wrist should be doing, and this was shot at 600 frames so we could take a real close look at what's going on. Again, in the flipper, the right forearm does not rotate, and so we see the only motion available is right wrist flexion or the flipper action. And in a good swing, what's going to happen is the right forearm, this whole wrist bone rotates. Okay, it'll rotate forward in the counterclockwise direction or in the same direction as the swing. Okay, so you can see that wrist rotating so that this part's a lot more forward than where we were back here. Okay, now what that starts creating is opposite or inverse kind of rotation of your right palm or the back of your right hand. This will create the squaring of the club face, as well as holding that right wrist angle, which we all know that wrist's supposed to stay in that position so that we can get the hands way out in front. But what happens is, again, people don't focus in on this area actually rotating, and so they end up with the flipper. Now try this at home. If you just stick your right hand out in front of you and then just rotate the wrist forward and bring your pinky up, that's the correct motion. So we kind of get rid of all of these terms, clockwise, counterclockwise. Just do it in a simple way. If you've got your hand out in front and just rotate so that your pinky comes up and retains the angle, and rotate that wrist and forearm forward, then you start getting the right motion for what feels like maybe the palm covering the ball or the right palm facing down, and this should complement the movements of the left hand, which then the palm should feel up. So let's go take a look at this during the golf swing and see how this works compared to the flipper. Alright, let's take a look at how the right wrist and forearm work in a better swing. We see a good lag angle. Left wrist starting to flatten out and bow a little bit. You can see the wrist bone continuing to push forward and rotate. Okay, so that we can start to see more of the back of the right hand coming to impact. Okay, and we see UD right there too. Again, the flipper would not allow this part of the arm to rotate forward. We'd see more cupping here. Okay, and then all we'd see is the right hand push under rather than drive forward, rotate. And again, thinking of almost the pinky coming back up to get the proper rotation on that wrist. Okay, instead of getting into the flipper zones. Hope this all makes sense.